Hi everybody, this is day 6 of my program. Today we're going to be talking about prepositions and direct objects in Latin. Let's get into it. So, review. So these are from the past videos, and if you haven't watched them yet, I would recommend go back and watch them, learn about some of the words here. They're from previous vocab, and you can look at the worksheet for every single video. It's tagged in the description. Just go click on it, and you can see the PDF format. And yes, let's continue. So let's write family in the accusative case. So what is the nominative of the word family? Familia, right? How do we write that in the accusative case? So if we look at the chart on the bottom, it gives us familia. And if we go to the accusative case, and family is accusative singular, by the way, it's singular. So if we go to the accusative singular case, it's familiam. Because we know accusative singular always ends with am. So familiam. That's for the first question. So let's translate cannot. So if you look at your worksheet and go to the vocab, you know that keno means to eat or eat. So cannot, if we look at the chart to the right, we can see anything that ends with a T is he, she, or it blanks. So keno means eat, so it's going to be he, she, or it eats. So number 3, what is the case and number of Yanuas? So we know something that ends with as is accusative plural. So obviously the case and number is going to be accusative plural. On the chart on the bottom left, you can all the cases on the left-hand side, all the things on the left-hand side are cases, and the top 2 are numbers. So number means singular or plural, and cases means nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, or ablative. So Yanuas would be accusative plural. So what is the person and number of kantas? So kantas, again, ends with as. So that's why we know it must be accusative plural. But however, it asks here for person. So person could be scratch that, my bad. Canto is a verb, right? So that means you have to go to the chart on the right. So cantas ends with the S. So you know it's second person singular. As you can see on the right hand side, amas ends with an S. So cantas is going to be you sing, and the person and number of kantas would be second person singular. My bad. So number 5, what is the case and number of vitam? So vita, as you know if you can see your vocab, means life. So vitam is going to be ends with am. So what is the case and number of vitam? If we go on the chart and look at something that ends with am, you can see it would be accusative singular. And that's the case and number of vitam. Accusative singular. Number 6, translate Regina laudat piratam. So, Regina laudat piratam. So we know Regina means queen, if you look at your vocab. Now, laudat means he, she, or it praises. So the queen, since we already have a subject, we don't need to add the he, she, or it. So the queen praises, and then piratam, since it ends with am, it's accusative, and it's the direct object. So the queen praises the pirate. We'll get into the direct object very soon. Number 7, Deya Vocate Puellam. So Deya, as we can look at the vocab, means goddess. Vocate means he, she, or it calls. However, since we already have a subject, we know it's just the goddess calls. And Puellam, since it ends with am, it's an accusative direct object, and Puella means girl. So it's the goddess calls the girl. That's number 7. And by the way, feel free to pause at any time and practice these yourself, or practice these before I give you the answer. This is just me going through to help you out. Number 8, write lands in Latin in the nominative plural. So if we look at our vocab on the worksheet, you know land is terra, Terra. But you need to write this in the nominative plural. So if we look at the chart on the bottom left, you can see nominative plural ends with ae. So instead of terra, it would be terrae, terrae, and that's number 8. Number 9, write shout in Latin, the third person plural. Okay, so write shout in the third person plural. So shout in Latin is clamo. So how do we write this in the third person plural? So we know the third person plural ends with nt. So how do we make clamo into ending with nt? So we have to follow the rule, which is always changing an O to an A if we have to add an ending. So it'll be clamant. C-L-A-M-A-N-T. Clamant for number 9. Number 10. Write in Latin, the queen shouts. So we know for Latin, in Latin, queen is regina. So regina, and then so we know clamo means shout, but how do we, if we have a subject, it needs to be in the third person singular case. So how do we make clamo into the third person singular? Well, if you go to the chart on the top, you can see the third person singular ends with T. So how do we make clamo end with a T? You have to do the rule again and change an O to an A, and it will be clamat. C-L-A-M-A-T. So in Latin, it would be regina clamat. Now, for the last one, number 11, write in Latin, the woman hurry the sailor. So woman is plural. The singular of woman is femina. So the plural would be feminae. If we look at the chart to the left, nominative plural. So nominative plural would be feminae. So the feminae, and then hurry. So now hurry is festino. But how do we make festino into the third person plural case? Since woman is equivalent as they. So the third person plural. So if we look at the chart on the top, we know the third person plural ends with nt. So how do we make festino end with an nt? Again, you have to follow the rule and change the O to an A and tag on an nt. So it'll be festinant. F-E-S-T-I-N-A-N-T. Festinant. So it would be feminae, festinant, and then we have to make sailor into the accusative singular case. So we know sailor is nauta. How do we make that into the accusative singular? Well, if we go to the chart on the left, you can see an accusative singular always ends in am. So it would be nautam. So it would be a feminae, festinant, nautam. And that's number 11, writing in Latin. Writing in Latin is probably the hardest part and probably the least thing you need to worry about. Translating is probably the one you should know how to do the most. So yeah, let's go on. That's just a little review. Let's move on. So today's vocab. Again, I will go through the first principle part and the definition, and then you feel free to pause the video and try pronouncing these words by yourself. So let's get into it. Agricola, farmer. Amicitia, friendship. Ancilla, slave girl. Anima, soul. Aura, altar. Audacia, courage. Aura, air. Causa, cause. Fortuna, luck. Gloria, glory. Cura, care. Diligentia, diligence. Epistula, letter. Discipula, student. Fama, fame, or rumor. Filia, daughter. Puella, girl. Flamma, flame. Forma, form. And aura, hour. So yes, these are the Latin vocab words for today, and as you can see, a lot of them are very similar to their definitions, and you can see a direct correlation between the English and the Latin. And yes, so now we're gonna play a couple games just to help you all get help you picture the word with a picture and help you memorize it faster. So the first one. So let's help picture the words with actual pictures, so it can help you memorize. So this picture right here is amicitia, or friendship. This picture is aura, or air. This picture is anima, or soul. This picture is causa, or cause. This picture is audacia, or courage. This picture is agricola, or farmer. This picture is aura, or altar. This picture is ancilla, or slave girl. This picture is gloria, or glory. And this picture is fortuna, or luck, which is luck. So yes, so now that I listed all the pictures and what their Latin is, feel free to pause the video and try figuring out which the Latin to each picture and naming it. This will help you picture the words more easily in your head and help you memorize it much faster. So yes, let's move on. So what are direct objects? The direct object is the object of the verb. So if you look at the example given, the family loves the girl. The family is the subject, loves is the verb, and the girl is the direct object. So the direct object is the object of the verb. So the family loves what? The girl. The girl is what they love, and that is the direct object. So you can also think about it as the subject blanks what, and the what that you're thinking of is the direct object. It always takes the accusative case, and they're nouns. So yeah, remember they always take the accusative case. That's what direct objects do. So let's move on. Let's play the other part of the game. So the other portion of the game. So again, these are to help you picture the words in your head better. So this right here, so this picture right here is discipula, or student, discipula. This picture is puella, and this picture together is familia. So you can think of together they're familia, but the girl individually is puella, which is girl. This picture is discipula, or student. This picture is epistula, or letter. This picture is fama, or fame, or rumor. So in this case, rumor, fama, rumor. This picture is cura, or care. This picture is forma, or form. This picture is flamma, or flame. This picture is aura, or hour. And this picture is despicula, or student. Actually, wait, this picture should be, I think, diligentia, diligence. So to recap, this picture right here is puella, and you can also think of it as actually filia, daughter. So puella or filia, together familia. This picture is a student, so discipula. This letter is epistula. These shapes are forma, form. This is cura, care. Fama, rumor. Flamma, flame. Aura, hour. And diligentia, diligence. So yeah, those are those pictures. Just you can pause it and just practice it if you want. Get the pictures ingrained in your head to match each of the words to help you memorize it a bit faster. Let's move on. So, what is a preposition? So, a preposition expresses relationship between words. They show direction, time, place, location, spatial relationships, or introduce an object. So, if you look at the sentence above, the family lives in the house. So, the family is the subject, lives is the verb, and in the house is the prepositional phrase. The preposition is actually in, and the object of the preposition is house. And we'll talk about that shortly. But just know that is the prepositional phrase. So, the object of the preposition is most of the time ablative, but it can also be accusative. Specific prepositions take the ablative, and specific ones take the accusative, and we'll talk about that later. So yes, let's move on. So parts of a preposition. So in the little prepositional phrase, in the house, in is the preposition, and the house would be the object of the preposition, and together they make the prepositional phrase. It always goes the preposition followed by the object of preposition. The object of preposition is either ablative or accusative. So let's see which ones let's see which prepositions take either the ablative object of preposition or take the accusative. So this is the vocab for today. So the prepositions underneath the ablative are the ones that take an ablative object of preposition. So what comes after it is always in the ablative case. So let's start. A or ab, meaning from. De, meaning about or from. E or ex, meaning out of or from. Cum, meaning with. Sine, without. Pro, on account of. In can either take an accusative or an ablative. In plus an ablative is just regular in. And sub means under. Now these are the words that take the accusative. Super, meaning above, trans, meaning across, extra, meaning outside of, prope, meaning near, opposite, at or near, ad, to, inter, between, per, through, ante, before, post, after, and circum, around, as well as in, meaning into. If in ever takes the accusative, it means into. So yeah, those are just the words that take the accusative, and these are the words on the left that take an ablative. Feel free to pause the video and check and try memorizing these and practicing these a bit. These are very important because they are prefixes to lots of verbs, and they can help you a lot for any vocab help you need. So feel free, make sure to pause this video and try to memorize these, or at least practice them a little bit by yourself. Okay, let's move on. So some practice. So right before dinner in Latin. So if you use the worksheet that is used in the description of the video, you can see the actual words to help you translate these sentences. But if not, I will go through them with you. So right before dinner in Latin. So before, means ante. And dinner is cena. So how do we write before dinner? So ante, and ante always takes, if you look at the, if you go back, you know that ante always takes an accusative. So how do we make cena in the accusative singular case? It will be cenam. So number one will be ante cenam. Number two, translate super puellas. So super means above, and puella means girl. However, puellas is accusative plural. So if a girl is in the plural, it must be girls. So super puellas is above the girls. That's what number two is. Number three, what is the case and number of Yanuas? So if you go to the chart on the bottom, you can see that Yanuas ends with an AS, and AS is the accusative plural place on the chart. So the case and number would be accusative plural. Now, number four, what is a person and number of kantas? Kantas. So I think we did this one above, but kantas, again, if we go to the chart on the right, you can see anything that ends with an S is second person singular, and so that means the person and number of this would be second person singular. Now number five, what is the case and number of vitam? I think we also did this one above. So the case of vitam, since it ends with an am, if we go to the chart on the bottom, am is always accusative singular. So that's what vitam would be. Now translate this sentence. Regina laudat paratam apud aram. So this is similar to the sentence we did in the beginning of the review. However, I added a couple parts. So Regina laudat paratam apud aram. So let's start off. The queen, that's what Regina means. Laudat, we know, means he, she, or it praises, but we already have a subject, so it's the queen praises. Paratam is pirate, so we know the queen praises the pirate. And then apud, we learned before, means at or near. So we'll see which one is better in context. So the queen praises the pirate at or near, and aram, if we look at the vocab, we know aram means altar. So the queen praises the pirate at or near the altar. I think in this case, either of them work, but we could just say at the altar. So the queen praises the pirate at the altar. Number 7, translate Deya Vocate Puellam ad Kasam. So, let's break it down. Deya, as we know, means goddess. Voco means call, but vocate means he, she, or it calls. However, we already have a subject, so it will be the goddess calls. The goddess calls, and then puellam. Puellam is the accusative singular of the word puella, and puella means girl. So since it's in the accusative singular, it's the direct object, so it's just going to translate normally, and it'll be the goddess calls the girl. And then ad kasam, ad, if you remember from before, means to. So the goddess calls the girl to, and kasam is the same thing as, it's the accusative singular of casa, and casa means house. So the goddess calls the girl to the house. That's number 7. Number 8. Write lands in Latin in the nominative plural. I think we did this one before, but this one would be terra. This one would be terrae, right? Because terra means land and terrae is the nominative plural. Number 9, write shout in Latin in the third person plural. I think we also did this one. Clamo. How do we make that in the third person plural? Yet the third person plural is the NT, so it'll be clamant, because you have to change the O to an A. CLAMANT. That's number 9. Number 10, write in Latin the queen shouts near the family. So this is a little different from before, as it says near the family. So the queen shouts. Let's practice this again. The queen is Regina, shouts. So now we have to make shouts, clamo, into the third person singular. So it'll be clamat, Regina, clamat. So what is near? So near, if we look at our prepositions, it can either be prope or opid. But since we use opid already, let's do prope. So Regina, clamat, prope. And what does prope take? Prope always takes an accusative. So it would be Regina, clamat, prope, familiam. Because it takes an accusative singular. It always takes an accusative, and family is singular. So it would be accusative singular, and that ends with am. So familiam. So Regina, clamat, prope, familiam. That's number 10. So now let's go on to number 11. Write in Latin the woman hurry the sailor to the water. So again, this is a little bit different since we added to the water. So to refresh, the woman would be woman is femina, right? Woman is femina, woman is feminae, so it'll be feminae. Hurry is festino, and if you make it plural, third person plural, it'll be festinant, so it'll be feminae, festinant, and then the sailor, which is going to be in the accusative singular case since it's the direct object, it'll be nautam, so feminae, festinant, nautam, and then to the water, ad, and then the water would be aquam, right? Since ad always takes an accusative, and since it's singular, so it would be aquam. Since aqua means water, and then it has to end with an am since it's accusative singular. So in total, the sentence will look like feminae, festinant, nautam, ad, aquam. And yes, that's the answer to number 11, to write in Latin. I know this might be a little bit confusing and complicated, but just take a minute to just maybe pause the video, try these by yourself again, refresh, go through these again. If you ever need help, just look back at the video and see. And yes, thank you so much for watching, and let's continue to the next video of the series. Thank you so much.